We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yes.
hear you. Yes.
Great, thank you. So, hello and welcome to our first event for 2023. My name is Desislav Danov, and we are at Insurtechbalkans are happy to present you with our first edition of our Balkan Insurtech Digitalization Map. This was an effort that is aimed to give clear picture, more or less, of the level of insurance digitalization across the Balkan region, starting from Slovenia, going down to Greece and eastward to Moldova. And it took approximately 200 hours of the desktop research in order to complete this final result that we will present to you in a couple of minutes. What you're about to see is by no means a final product. This is, we hope, to be a starting point from where further efforts will be given to create more detailed picture of this Insurtech map that we are trying to compose. So the map will be in a constant updating and in a the process of constant amendments. We hope that together with you, we will create a more or less clear picture during the next 1 or 2 years. Our aim is to... there is some background noise. First, I just want to apologize because there are very heavy gusts of wind here in Sofia. So if you hear some background noise, I'm really sorry. This is outside of our ability to stop it. So I continue with our hope that this will be just the beginning of this ongoing effort to give clear picture of insurance digitalization across the Balkans. Here with me today, I have two speakers and two very old friends of Insurtechbalkans, and with their help, I hope to tackle some of the questions that this insurance digitalization map may arise. First of them is Mr. Climet Popuski from North Macedonia, and the other one is Kalin Rango from Romania. And we also wait for another speaker, Nick Perry, who will join us from New York. Unfortunately, he's in a time zone that is a little bit tricky to enter our event, but we hope to see him a little bit later. So there is one more thing that I just want to emphasize, and this is our gratitude to the company CyberRight, which agreed to support this event and to help our efforts and to be our really good friend in this event and in what we are doing. And about CyberRight, I will share with you some brief information about them. They are founded in 2017 by industry veterans. CyberRight has developed the patented foreseen algorithm, which predicts the risk level and potential economic impact of cyber attacks on business worldwide. The CyberRight platform is used globally by leading insurance companies and brokers as a platform to enable cyber insurance sales, underwriting, and aggregated risk management. CyberRight's customer base includes leading brokers, insurance, and reinsurance, which utilize the technology to manage the life cycle of a cyber policy from customer to the reinsurer. CyberRight is Gartner Cool vendor. He has been identified as one of the leading technologies in the field of multiple publication and is always up to date with emerging risks to enable its customer to get the best of the breed cyber insurance possible. You can, of course, learn even more by accessing their website, which is cyberwrite.com. cyberwrite.com. So thank you once again, CyberRight, for supporting this effort of ours. And now we will continue with a short presentation of our speakers. Each of them will share just a couple of words about his present status, what he is doing. Then we will continue with the presentation of the map itself. Then we will have comments that we will do based on the findings of this map. And at the end of the day, we will close the event. Probably the event will take something like 1 hour or a little bit more. Feel free to ask questions. I will now share with you the Slido, which is open for your questions here. Just a second. Settings. Sorry for the technical delays, but there are always something coming up. So I hope you see the Slido. It's slido.com. You can enter this website and putting number 2062455, you can ask questions, and hopefully at the end of the event we will have time to answer them one way or another. So now I'll give the word to our guests, Călin and Clime. Please, just a very short introduction of yourself.
Okay. My name is Clime Popovski. I have two roles in this moment. I'm the chairman or the president of the management board of Wiener Non-Life. Wiener Non-Life is the subsidiary company of Vienna Insurance Group. And second, I'm academician, professor teaching insurance at the University St. Clement Ochridsky. Also, I'm the founder member of the new established academic association, Eastern European Risk Insurance Association, that combine professors, academics, students, PhD students, master students in the field of insurance among the countries from Central, Eastern, Southeastern Europe.
Thank you, Clime.
Hello, I'm very glad to be with you today. So, short introduction. I'm Dean at Economical and Business Administration School in Danubius University, where we develop a FinTech Master, one of the first FinTech Master in East Europe. In the same time, I'm a director of Policyholder Guarantee Fund related to resolutions and insurers administration when they are having issues. And I act also like vice president of CIO Council, the Association of Chief Information Officer in Romania, where we are monitoring and we are implementing also these new trends that are on the market. And the trends in insurance, innovation in insurance are predominant, will be predominant in future because it's a market where can be applied very, very easy and very fast.
Thank you for your presentations, guys. Now I would like to ask you just to mute your mics, or even you can switch off your video if it's more convenient for you. And I will start with the presenting the map that we will be discussing a little bit later. What is important is that you can now access the map by visiting www.insurtechbalkans.tech. There you can find a more animated version of the map. Unfortunately, because we have constraints in terms of technical ability, we are not presenting this animated version of the map, but we are presenting a little bit more old school PDF version, which again is enough informative to give you impression what we are talking about and what we will discuss a little bit later. And now I will start by sharing my screen again. Can you see it? Hope you see my screen now.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So This is the first version, as I mentioned in the introductory comments. By no means the findings here are relevant in terms of their final form. Probably this map is maybe 50 to 60% accurate, just because even during the compilation, some of the companies may have disappeared, because software companies, some of them are robust and can work for quite a long, but some of them just pop up for a year or two, and then suddenly they disappear. So our aim again is to have an ongoing effort, an effort that will be updated constantly, probably every 6 months or every year. And we just want to give start of this effort by creating this initial version of the Balkan Insurance Digitalization Map. What is interesting here, I believe, first a couple of words about the Balkans. The map is covering all those countries that I mentioned in the beginning, starting from Slovenia, going to Croatia, Bosnia, Albania, Greece, North Macedonia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, and Moldova. We are not covering Turkey because we believe that Turkey is a market of its own. Turkey is very big. Turkey is very developed in terms of insurtech, and that's why we prefer to stay more closely to the Balkan region and to cover those countries that so far have been a little bit outside the focus of the insurtech community. And I hope that they have enough potential to be very well developed in just a couple of years if they start from the right position and the right pole. So this is the Balkans, and a couple of words about the methodology of this map. Partially, this map is based on the Cambridge FinTech Ecosystem Atlas. You can access it by just Googling it, Cambridge FinTech Ecosystem Atlas. It's a comprehensive effort to create a taxonomy, FinTech taxonomy, that can be used in all cases. Of course, I must admit that there are also other type of taxonomies created by different other institutions, but this one is, I believe, more or less comprehensive and could be used in general cases. What we added to this taxonomy, we added some stuff about the Balkan landscape. We added our cross-border approach, because on the Balkans you have 11 countries, and those 11 countries, somehow we decided to look over from a bird's eye as a whole, not country by country. What we did also was to create this stakeholder approach. We divided everybody that we found in 4 main groups. There are smaller subsets of every group, but in general, we created these 4 groups: enablers, insurers, insurtech companies, and investors, because we believe that those are the 4 pillars that support a vibrant insurtech ecosystem. Each of those pillars is important on its own place, and that's why we started using this method. And some of the actually each one of those pillars is divided into a smaller subgroups that we will see a little bit later. Also, we tried to focus on companies that are domiciled or centered at the Balkans. Of course, there are a lot of hybrid cases here. You have companies that have a lot of offices. Some of them on the Balkans, some of them are outside the Balkans, some of them outside Europe. So it's a little bit tricky to try to pinpoint which company is a truly Balkan one. But we made our best to somehow concentrate on companies that are primarily focused or working on the Balkans. First, you can see here enablers in cybersecurity space. Those enablers in the cybersecurity space are both local and companies that are outside of the Balkans. Their headquarters is somewhere in more developed markets. In general case, cybersecurity, and not only cybersecurity, of course, is the Balkans are used as a sort of outsourcing hub. You have a lot of people, bright-minded coders, that work here, but as a rule, they work for bigger companies that are posted somewhere outside the Balkan area. Of course, you have cases where you can see companies established here on the Balkans and starting their expansion from here outside onwards into different other markets. Here we try to put everybody. Of course, you can see big names probably you're familiar with. Some of them are not so widely spread. For example, there are companies that are known only in their home turf, Bulgarian companies that you can find only in Bulgaria, and companies that work only in a couple of markets. But in general, this is the main picture in terms of cybersecurity. What is interesting about cybersecurity, I would like to share with you another information about the cybersecurity market, present cybersecurity market. Just a second. This is the cybersecurity market across Southeastern Europe. You can see here markets with heightened level of investment in cybersecurity assets. Of course, here you have also Turkey, which a little bit distorts the picture because again, Turkey is very big. Actually, Turkey is comparable to the whole Balkan area. But in general, you can see the figures here. How much money is spent on cybersecurity. Of course, all those information you will be able later on to find on our website, together with a recording of this event. Now we go back to the map. Another important part, together with cybersecurity, we believe is the enablers for InsurTech. Here we put everybody, starting from companies that disseminate information, and companies that create events, and companies that in general help the InsurTech ecosystem to thrive and to continue its development. Here you can find a lot of initiatives. Some of them are purely commercial. Some of them are more or less supported by different EU programs and different EU tools in order to continue. Also, here we included some of the information hubs and information sources that are focused on not only on insurance, but also on the digitalization. For example, you can see Exprim from Romania, who are one of our partners for the last couple of years. Also, you can see other stuff like ICT Hub, Albania, Tech Start, Moldova, and all those organizations, one way or another, are either helping InsurTech and insurance digitalization, or are able to help with some tweaking. So basically, this picture gives you an impression about the resources that can be found in this area, ecosystem and media. Another important part of the map, we believe, is the payment, because payment is there is a lot of hype in payments. Everybody's doing payments, and in terms of insurtech, payments are one of the main levers for developing insurtech solutions, because especially during the COVID time, it became very, very clearly visible. If you are not allowed to make distant payments, what type of digitalized insurance you can provide? People expect to have their products easily accessible and to pay for it distantly, even without going to offices and stuff. And that's why the payment providers are very important, to our opinion. Here you can see a lot of established players. For example, Borica. Borica is one of the main payment systems in Bulgaria for the last maybe 20 plus years. You can also see very new players. You can see established players like Western Union that have combined efforts with other smaller companies or startups. In general, all those payment companies could be used for further development of your insurtech solutions and your insurtech offering. Now we move to enablers in this in the area of RegTech, which is regulatory technology, for those of you who are not aware of this term. RegTech is not widely spread here on the Balkans for one reason or another. In general, we found only 2 providers. Probably there are more, and we'll be very happy to include them in the next version of this map. So if you're interested in being mapped and you provide RegTech or whatever, just access our site. There is a button there, Remap Me. Click on it and put your data, and I do promise you that in the next version of this map, you will be somewhere in it. Those companies that provide RegTech, one of them is from Croatia, CRT, and the other one, I believe, was from Serbia, but I'm not very sure here, so I don't want to give you a wrong impression. Of course, you can Google all of those names, and you can find by yourself. What is important for the development of insurtech also is the presence of insurance companies, because those insurance companies, one way or another, can boost the development of insurtech across the Balkans. First, because they have resources, and second, because they, in very many cases, they need insurtech solutions in order to brush up and to make their offerings more up to date. So we decided to take a look over all the insurance companies that are here on the Balkans, and to put them in 3 main groups. One of them is the so-called non-local groups. The insurance companies here on the Balkans that have motherboards, mothership, mother whatever, you name it, somewhere outside the Balkans. When you look at this slide, you can realize that there are a lot of big names here present here on the Balkans. And many of those big names have subsidiaries in almost every Balkan country. Of course, this is not a general case, but many of them have subsidiaries in almost every country. For example, VIG here, Generali, KBC, you can find them almost in every country across the region. There are other providers that are present in only 1 or 2 countries. For example, Balkan Insurance, we were able to pinpoint them only in North Macedonia. Also, Ergo, I believe there were to be found in Slovenia and Croatia, if I'm not much mistaken. Again, you can look for yourself, but those are the big names that are present across the Balkans. And those companies can be true supporters of further insurtech efforts. Another one important group is the local sorry, but something happens. The local insurance groups. Those are insurer companies that are part of bigger holding structures with domicile somewhere across the Balkans. For example, you have you can see here Greek structures. You can see Albanian structures, Bulgarian. There are a lot of players who are domiciled and who have headquarters somewhere across the Balkans, and later on they have started expanding in the neighboring countries. For example, you can see Croatia Osiguranje, you can see Sava. Those companies are, one of them is in Croatia, the other one I believe was in Slovenia, and they have also Triglav, of course. They have subsidiaries in the former countries from the former Yugoslavia. Also, you have Greek names, and again, you have Bulgarian companies that are also part of bigger structures. Some of them are not only part of financial holdings, but also they are part of mixed holdings. For example, Armeds which is domiciled in Bulgaria, is part of a structure that is not only in the financial markets but also in the pensions, and also they have they are owners of the Bulgarian air carrier, Bulgaria Air. And now we come to I believe the most interesting part. These here are the independent insurers. The independent insurers, it's a quite patchy picture, but I believe this is a very, very important part of the future development of Insurtech. Not only because those companies are smaller one, but also because they, in order to go to the 21st century, they have to put some effort into digitalization and to spend some resources in that direction. All those companies are domiciled across the region. There are many companies in countries like Bosnia, smaller companies. You can see also bigger companies that were working alone. For example, asset insurance here in Bulgaria. You can find another interesting names. In general, those companies can be, from my opinion, they can be the motor of Insurtech development across the region, because they really will need digitalization, and they can be the driver behind it. Because if you have your headquarter, your mothership somewhere outside, in general case, this mothership can provide you with some sort of Insurtech solution. While when you are alone, when you work on your own, like those smaller independent insurance companies, you have to find it by yourself. So this is a huge market, and I mean huge. In general, the gross written premium across the insurance region here is close to 5 billion euros. Maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of that gross written premiums are made by those independent insurance companies. So they have potential, they have financial resources, and I believe they really can be behind the future digitalization and Insurtech development across the Balkans. So now we go straight into the Insurtech companies that we were able to find here on the Balkans. We start with Insurtech companies that are doing claims and risk management. We were able to find some of them. Of course, again, not all of them have a very clear-cut profile. For example, Fadata, which is one of the known names across the region, they do not only claims and risk management. Actually, they are core system provider. You can see companies like Navins, PayPact. Some of them are profiled only into insurance claims and risk management. Others are giving also and developing also other type of software. Some of them are actually into other areas of software development as well, not only in insurance, but in general, they provide insurtech claims and risk management software. That's why we put them here on this slide. Again, if somebody from those companies is not very happy with our categorization, we will be happy to adjust our next edition of this map, given that the person who wants to be the company that wants to be remapped fills in our dedicated questionnaire about this purpose. The next insurtech venue is comparison portals. As it could be expected, this is much more populated than other insurtech types of companies, because insurtech comparison portals are actually your main door towards the customer. So there are a lot of players here. You have insurance brokers that are offering comparison portals. For example, I can give you one or two Bulgarian insurance brokers like Musala, SDI, and stuff. They are generally brick and mortar companies, but they have their offering in a comparison portals, just in order to allow customers to easily pick and choose the product that they need. It's interesting though, another development. For example, you can see here EMAC. EMAC is a Romania-based, Romania-domiciled company, which offers insurances together with all type of products. Actually, EMAC is something like the Balkan version of Amazon. They sell everything, and together with everything, they sell insurances, which is an interesting trait because it showcases that certain insurance retail products could be packaged and sold in a way you buy common goods. The same way you can buy a TV set, the same way you can buy a prepackaged insurance product, given that this product is well structured and easily understandable for the consumer. But mainly those portals deal with motor insurances and especially MTPL, motor third-party liability. But some of them also offer different other types of insurance. In general, those comparison portals do not cover commercial risks. Probably some of them might also offer commercial risks, but in general, they only offer a comparison of retail insurance products. The next insurtech category that we are dealing with is customer management. Here in customer management, we found very different names, and many of them are generally domiciled somewhere outside the Balkans. Here on the Balkans, they do their coding, they do their research, their development. But in general, those companies, with very few exceptions, are not truly Balkan. And probably one of the reasons behind this is that customer management is, let's say, more sophisticated part of the customer relationship. And probably the software companies here lack some sort of expertise to develop their own products. Again, this generalization is not very good one. But if you Google the names on this slide, you will see that many of them are actually companies domiciled outside the Balkans and having their development parts here in the Balkans. Another interesting thing is the Insurtech digital brokers and agents. You can see that we don't have many names here, but the interesting part is that we have some companies that have very clear-cut profile. For example, Boleron, which is a Bulgarian-based company, they claim to be digital broker, and they do only this. They do not spread into adjacent software areas. They do only digital brokering, and just recently they decided to enter the Romanian market, if I'm not much mistaken. Here you can see also another interesting development. You can see some of the telecom companies. Here we have Yetel, A1. Yetel is Czech domiciled, Czech-based company, which covers many of the markets here on the Balkans. A1 is an Austrian company, which also covers a lot of the markets here on the Balkans. Vivacom is one of the Bulgarian players. I believe they also have investments in Albania, but I might be wrong. So just take them for a Bulgarian company. All those companies are actually telecom providers, but together with everything else, they also offer insurances, just because they already have developed their marketing channel and they want to milk it as much as possible. Another section of InsurTech is Internet of Things. We have not so many players here, and some of them are even not exactly Internet of Things providers, because they provide something that could evolve into Internet of Things. But if we stick to the strict meaning of Internet of Things providers, probably this slide would not have been populated or would have only one or two companies. So we decided to put not only Internet of Things providers, but also companies that have developed something that is very close to Internet of Things and that could be used for this purpose by insurance companies. There are a lot of solutions here that could be used for corporate fleets. Some of them could be used for private fleets as well. It depends on the specific offering, but in general, the offerings of those companies that are on this slide could be used for further development of Internet of Things related to InsurTech products. Here we have a very sad slide. This is on-demand insurance and peer-to-peer insurance. Unfortunately, we were not able to figure out any of those here on the markets because this is life. On-demand insurance is not present, and peer-to-peer insurance, although we have legal structures that could be used for this purpose, is also not present here on the market. Perhaps in future, in not so distant future, the cooperative structures, cooperative insurance companies could evolve into peer-to-peer InsurTech-based insurance companies, but the future will show if I'm right or wrong. Here we have a very scarcely populated slide, which is parametric insurance. We were able to find only 3 players. One of them, actually, Europa is not even a Balkan domiciled player, but they work on the Balkans, which is interesting because they are domiciled in Switzerland, but they have developed products offered in the former Yugoslavia and the countries from the former Yugoslavia. And I believe they cover Bosnia, North Macedonia. Again, you can Google them and you can find more details about them. But in general, the parametric insurance, which we believe have a lot of potential for our part of the world, is not very well covered. And now we come to tech service providers. Here in tech service providers, we included a lot of big software names, software companies that are very versatile, that they have a lot of resources which could be used for the purpose of developing InsurTech related products and InsurTech related offerings. You can see names that you're familiar with. Also, you can see new players. For example, Life is Hard, which is one of our friends from Cluj for the last 5 years. You can see Bulgarian players and stuff. In general, I believe in this category could be included other companies as well. But for the moment, this is just a start, and hopefully in the future, this slide will evolve as well. Speaking of usage-based insurance, we were able to find only one case where a model, a company from Austria or Switzerland, if I'm not much mistaken, sorry if I'm wrong, They have created a product together with Unica, the Unica, I believe, the Croatian subsidiary of Unica. Again, this was the only case that we were able to find. Probably there are other cases, and again, if there are other cases, we'll be very happy to include them in the map. And here we have a miscellaneous category, others. We have put companies that, to our opinion, are not easily categorized. For example, Fintech OS is a company domiciled in Romania that offers very different type of software solutions, microsoftware solutions that could be arranged or rearranged according to the need of the respective customer. Again, we included here Fadata because we mentioned to you that Fadata is not only claim service provider, but also they offer other types of software solutions that could be used for different purposes. Also, they provide core systems and stuff. Here we have Hellas Direct, which is actually an online insurance company domiciled in Greece. They are focused, I believe, primarily on the motor insurances, MTPL, Casco, and stuff. But I believe that they have the status of insurance company. Also, here you have another software providers that are not easily categorized. That's why we put them all here in the others section. And with others, we finish the part of the insurtech companies. The fourth pillar of our map is our effort to put on one slide the investors. First, we start with local investor companies. Local investors, in terms of all those companies, are based across the Balkans, domiciled across the Balkans. Some of them are working on the Balkans. Some of them are working also outside the Balkans. In general, those companies are not profiled on fintech and, God forbid, on insurtech. They have general profile. They just try to find suitable deals and to invest in them, which is of course great for them. But some of them have already made some effort in terms of finding good insurtech prospects. That's why we wanted to give you a general impression about the capital that is available across our region. There are plenty of capital, and I believe the missing link is to match this capital with insurtech offerings that could be invested in and that could grow outside of our region, and of course to help our region to develop further, but also grow outside the Balkans. So this is the part of the local investor community. Probably you can see a lot of familiar names here. Some of them are even state-owned or state-supported. Many of them also are EU-funded one way or another. But you have also fully fledged private players. You have fully fledged private venture capital, which is chasing after good deals across the Balkans. The next slide offers a glimpse over the non-local investors. The non-local investors are actually companies that are based and domiciled outside the Balkan area, but have something to do with our part of the world. Some of them have already invested in companies here on the Balkans. We were trying to figure out who is doing what, and we were able to, for example, to pinpoint companies like Astoria VC, which is insurtech oriented venture capital fund, I believe, based in France or in Poland or some mixed domicile. We were able to pinpoint Unica Ventures, which is again an insurtech focused venture capital arm of Unica. They are in Austria, but they look for propositions here on the Balkans as well. You have another companies, for some of them in France, some of them even in the States, that do insurtech or fintech and fintech related offerings close to insurtech. Many of them, if approached by decent proposal, probably will take a look on it, and one can expect that if the proposal is good, they will even invest in insurtech solutions. The next slide is covering actually the issues and conclusions for our map, which reminds me that we are going a little bit closer to the end of our event. One of the main issues here is that the companies lack clear profile. Many of the companies, because they are pushed to the limit of survival, they have to be omnivorous. They can not only do insurtech, but that they try to do whatever is possible to stay alive. That's why it's a little bit tricky to have clear-cut insurtech related companies. This in turn leads to a very hard to classify picture, because if you have a company that is doing everything, you cannot say this company is very good in something or another line of business, because the company in general offers all type of solutions, and offering those all type of solutions is very tricky to figure out where they are good or not so good. And so another problem is the small capacity. Many of those companies actually have issues with their capacity because they comprise just a couple of good coders. But if they are facing if they are facing something that is bigger than their ability to act, they have no idea how to proceed. So they start ringing their fellows and trying to create ad hoc bigger teams to cover the necessities. Another very bad trait of the current insurtech development across the Balkans is the poor interaction with the insurance sector. I believe there is a lot of space for improvement here. First, the insurance companies have to be approached in order to understand what they need, what they're willing to invest in. And then the insurance companies from the region can take care of the need of those insurance companies and to act accordingly to those needs. And another problem of this map, but this was just due to lack of capacity from our side, was
live streaming is on.
We are again now online. So before we start, I would like to share with you a small clip of our. Just a second. So now I am sharing with you a small clip of our supporter today.
Around the world, businesses suffer cybersecurity damages on a daily basis. Records are stolen. Around the world, businesses suffer cybersecurity damages on a daily basis. Records are stolen, data is lost, governments apply fines, and criminals encrypt business computers and demand ransom payments. Recent research indicates that the costs of these types of cybercrimes will reach $8 trillion in the next 5 years, with small and medium businesses facing the biggest threat. CyberRight has developed a state-of-the-art cyber analytics platform that scans the internet for cyber risk-related data. Through advanced statistical analysis and machine learning of industry and geographical cyber risk trends, business-specific information, and cyber intelligence data, CyberRight maps the unique cyber surface of any business and generates a simple-to-understand one-page cyber insurance policy risk report. The report is comprised of 3 parts: cyber insurance coverage scores, detailed risk domains, and estimated damage analysis. Part 1 focuses on the cyber insurance policy coverages offered to the business. The business's risk score is compared to the industry median for similar companies. The higher the score, the better. Part 2 of the report describes key cybersecurity risk domain groups CyberRight has mapped and provides a benchmark to industry peers. Part 3 provides a monetary impact assessment, which estimates the potential financial exposure of a business due to cyber threats. Fill out a few easy-to-answer questions to discover how big the business's potential financial risk is. A business owner can use this data in order to decide what amount of coverage they need to purchase. As new security safeguards and best practices are implemented, the business owner can monitor their cyber risk score over time and watch it improve. For more information, please visit www.cyberright.com. Around the world, businesses suffer cybersecurity damages on a daily basis. Records are stolen, data is lost, governments apply fines, and criminals encrypt business computers and demand ransom payments. Recent research indicates that the costs of these types of cybercrimes will reach $8 trillion in the next 5 years, with small and medium businesses facing the biggest threat. CyberRight has developed a state-of-the-art cyber analytics platform that scans the internet for cyber risk-related data. Through advanced statistical analysis and machine learning of industry and geographical cyber risk trends, business-specific information, and cyber intelligence data, CyberRight maps the unique cyber surface of any business and generates a simple-to-understand one-page cyber insurance policy risk report. The report is comprised of 3 parts: cyber insurance coverage scores, detailed risk domains, and estimated damage analysis. Part 1 focuses on the cyber insurance policy coverages offered to the business. The business's risk score is compared to the industry median for similar companies. The higher the score, the better. Part 2 of the report describes key cybersecurity risk domain groups CyberRight has mapped and provides a benchmark to industry peers. Part 3 provides a monetary impact assessment, which estimates the potential financial exposure of a business due to cyber threats. Fill out a few easy-to-answer questions to discover how big the business's potential financial risk is. A business owner can use this data in order to decide what amount of coverage they need to purchase. As new security safeguards and best practices are implemented, the business owner can monitor their cyber risk score over time and watch it improve. For more information, please visit www.cyberright.com.
Thank you for just to stop the video. Thank you again to our sponsors for today's event, CyberRight. And I see that Rami Parent is from CyberRight is here. If he wants to join our discussion, it would be great. Otherwise, we can start by just having a chat about this digitalization map that were offered to you today. Do you have any preliminary comments? I mean, does this match your expectations? Or
I can start.
Okay,
Desislav, if you allow me. Okay, so this is really pioneer work from your side, and it's a tremendous achievement, and it's for the first time that someone tried to be engaged and to identify all stakeholders who are somehow involved in the digitalization or insurtech ecosystem in the Balkan. So I guess that it takes a lot of time and efforts to identify all players present in this insurtech ecosystem. But before I give you some comments, I would like to ask you, what is the ultimate goal of the digitalization map? What is it's not only social responsibility from your side, but I guess that you have, in the end of the day, some idea by drafting this digitalization map.
Okay, thank you for your question, Klime. In general, this digitalization map is the first step towards creation of sort of investment vehicle operational here on the Balkans, because our main point is to allow recycling of capital, which is from the Balkans, to go back to the Balkans for development of the Balkans. Presently, the usual way of things, how they happened, is that if there is a company from the Balkans and it wants to be a successful one, they start from here, but they end up in general in more developed markets, insurtech markets like London, the States, Switzerland, even Turkey. And very, very few of them have offerings for the Balkans. Also, I believe that here on the Balkans, you have a little bit more different picture in terms of requirements. Some of the things that could be successful in London can not be brought mechanically here for the purpose of using them with local insurance community. And that's why I believe the local insurance community should develop solutions for the local insurance community using the local insurance community money. And that money is not small, as I mentioned. So this is just the first preliminary step. You have to see what's there on stock in order to take further decisions how to develop it. I hope this answers your question.
Yes. It's very clear. Now, I would like to give you my view on the work that you did, but also I will share with you some thoughts, but from the non-EU countries or from the Western Balkan perspective in terms of the level of digitalization and in terms of the insurance tech stage of the development. Of course, there is some difference between the EU and non-EU country. It's not only related with the regulation, but in terms of the level of development. I guess that the EU countries, from that belong to the Balkan Peninsula, like Bulgaria and Romania, or even including Croatia, they have more pressure from the competitive side to be more involved in the digitalization, especially for the insurance companies. Also, they have more favorable regulation or regulatory framework who encourage the insurtech or the digitalization of the insurance business operation. Speaking about the level of digitalization in the Western Balkan, I would say that one of the most important constraints is the regulatory framework. As a former regulator, I can see even if the supervisory authority, including the insurance companies, they like to digitalize and to improve the processes, to be more efficient, and to allow them to cooperate with the startups, we are facing with the regulatory constraints that are not directly related with the insurance law, but with other regulatory regime. For example, the contract law, which is not under the power of the supervisory authority, the contract law that regulated the terms and conditions between the insurance companies and the policyholders, between the insurance companies and intermediaries or the insurance companies and the startup or other providers. There are a lot of restrictions that they are not able in full scope to implement some digital solution. I will start even from the very basic or starting point where all the insurance companies want to digitalize their services. Online sale. There was so much restrictions, and we need to take a lot of actions in order to make possible the online sale to start to work, especially for the motor third-party liability business. I'm not discussing about the underwriting or how the insurance company will cope with the underwriting challenges, but more in terms of the contract of the contract law. So this is one of the example of the constraints. Also, you mentioned your presentation about the parametric insurance, which is very actual in our region when we are more exposed to the agriculture sector. So how we can improve the agriculture and insurance? Of course, with implementing some digital solution. So Europa Re, the Swiss reinsurance company, they launched very innovative parametric yield-based insurance product. And in order to automatize and in order to foster this product and to be recognized by the farmers, we saw a lot of challenges with the lack of government capacity to support the parametric insurance. In order to parametric insurance to work properly, we need strong cooperation with the Institute for Statistics, with the Ministry of Agriculture, in order to have timely and accurate data about the agriculture revenues per farm, per community. I will not go to deep explanation how this parametric insurance work, but the main constraints was the readiness of the government not to offer their services in order the parametric insurance to work on the proper way. So insurance cannot exist in the isolated world. Insurance industry, including the digitalization of the services, they must interactive with many stakeholders. Most of these stakeholders are related with the government relationships and with the regulatory framework. And this is one of the main I would say one of the main threats and constraints why the digitalization cannot go in a more faster pace. So this is some critical point that I can identify as a really constraints on the level of digitalization. For the other hand, the governments, through the many funds that are provided by the European Union, even including the World Bank, even with some private investors, they create very favorable condition for creating ecosystem. They can support, even financially support, the startups. And these startups who are part of this ecosystem, like in Macedonia, we have a government fund who directly finance the entrepreneur who has very innovative idea, and they provide with financial incentives. But most of these solutions that are offered by these startups, it's not for the purpose of our regional consumer or regional beneficiaries, like regional or local insurance companies, but most of the work they do is for the European or American insurance companies. And we have a lot of startup companies with very smart and very talented people who offer their services, outsourcing services, to global players, and they cannot reach to the regional players because it's not that the regional players, they don't like to digitalize themselves, because what I said of this regulatory burden, and because of the not readiness of the government and other stakeholders, institution to support the digitalization. So that will be my first comments on this topic.
Thank you, Klime. Thank you. And I believe you just confirmed some of my observations that there is a broken link between local demand and local supply in Insurtech and digitalization. And I believe this broken link is something that is worth working on. And now I just want to ask our friend here from Cyber Rights, Rami, if he has observations about cybersecurity issues on the underdeveloped markets, not the ones that are fully digitalized like the American one or Western Europe, but more underdeveloped like our part of the world.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. First, I apologize for being late. I was under the impression that it started later than than it actually was.
No problem.
With your permission, I will give 2 words about myself just to put things in perspective, and I would also like to comment about some of the things that was said there before. So first of all, I'm the chief data scientist of Cyberite. Cyberite is an insurtech company that is being built in order to provide insurance company with an efficient and knowledgeable way to underwrite cyber risk, cyber policy. I've been working in the insurance industry for over 20 years. I was chief risk officer of an insurance company for about 5 years. I was chief non-life actuary for about 15 years. So I'm coming from that industry for quite a long time. Now, you were talking about digitalization, and you were talking about government constraints and things like that. And I totally agree with you. There are a lot of those that we see all over the world. But what we do see, and as a company that is working just about everywhere, obviously in the US, in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, in many cases, government are not eager to change things toward digitalization, just because they have other stuff to deal with, and it's not their main priorities. But when the insurance companies come and said, "Listen, we want to work with startup. We want to move forward. We want to improve our ways of doing things. We want to be much more efficient than we were in the past 20, 30 years. And in order to do so, we need to change A, B, and C." In that cases, when the pressure is coming from the insurance company, things are moving also in government levels and in laws and things like that. And I think there is sort of a gap between different companies, between different countries when it comes to digitalization. Obviously, the US is the first to adopt things like that. Then Europe, but mainly countries like the UK, Germany, France, and other are the one to move forward and adopt those innovation. Australia and New Zealand and stuff like that, and the rest are sort of latecomer to that game. But there is no option for any insurance company that would like to survive and to prosper in the next 20 years without changing some of the things that they are doing currently. I mean, it is obvious that cyber insurance is going to be a huge market in upcoming years, just because it's the nature of things. Companies are going digital, even if the insurance company are not able to do so. Most of the company have website. Most of the company are work with or have some database about clients, credit cards, information like that. I mean, it's inevitable for the cyber insurance to become a huge market for the upcoming year. And if insurance company would not be more efficient in the way that they are doing things, and they will remain in the same processes that they've been doing for the last 20 years, they are probably going to lose a lot of the market. And other companies that will evolve and adapt new technologies will be the one that will have the upper hand in the competition. So that's something that we see all over the world. It's not restricted to the Balkan. I can tell you, I'm based in Israel, in Tel Aviv. We have a lot of startup companies, and most of them, as you said, are focusing on a market outside of Israel, US, Europe, and things like that. Obviously, because it's the huge market, and that's where you can make the money. And as a startup, you need to generate a lot of income very fast. And so you go to where it is easier to go rather than where you should go. But the first, I mean, you can say that from an emotional perspective, if I could start working in the local market rather than to go outside, then I would do so in a heartbeat. And even today, when you have clients all over the world, I mean, we are still trying to work with local companies just because this is where we live. This is the environment that we are in, and this is where our friends are, and things like. So it is obvious that if it will be easy for startup to work with the local community, they will do so. They will do so, and they will be able to help you improve in a lot of different ways, and to bring a lot of new technologies that you can use in your local market. So it is very important to understand that startup need to move faster. Insurance company usually doesn't work very fast. But if the insurance company will make an effort to work with startup, to understand what startup can bring to them, and also insurance company will go to the government and say, in order to become an innovative company, we need to change A, B, and C, then things will start move forward. That's the only way it's going to happen. I mean, there are so many blockers that we see all the times, and the startup themselves doesn't have enough power in order to remove those blockers. But with the help of the insurance company, those blockers can be moved. And it's, at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you to generate the atmosphere that will make the change. And the only way that you will be able to prosper in the next year is to adopt new technology. Now, let me give an example again, and I'm working at the past 5-6 years in the cyber insurance ecosystem. So when we started and we said we have a way to collect information about companies and give you, the insurance company give you sort of a short report and that will help you understand what is the risk level of a certain company when it comes to cyber. Is it a good company to insure? Is it not a good company to insure? How much sum insured you should sell this company, and things like that. When we start doing that, everyone said it cannot be done. It cannot be done. Only the very large companies is buying cyber insurance. The smaller companies does not buy cyber insurance. They do not have the need for that. They do not have the knowledge of what to buy and why they need it. And it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to happen soon. Now, 5 years later, when I look at some of the companies that we have been profiled for insurance companies in order to sell them cyber insurance, we see most of them are SMBs and SMEs, small and medium-sized companies. The vast majority of the companies are small and medium-sized company. Obviously, the large premium are from the enterprises, but most of the companies that are buying insurance today are small and medium-sized companies. We see companies anywhere from restaurant for cupcake shop. We see insurance being sold to churches. We see insurance sell to, I don't know, just about anything that you can imagine. Companies are buying cyber insurance because they have a lot of digital information and they understand that they need to protect themselves in case that something will happen, and something will happen. I mean, that's the nature of things. Criminals are finding it easier to sit at home and steal money digitally than actually going to a bank with a gun and risk getting injured. So that world is also going digital. So cyber insurance is getting into all the markets. Now, when we look at the results of insurance companies, we see companies like AIG, which were one of the first that actually start selling cyber insurance. We look at the loss ratio of those companies, and the loss ratio is around 100 or 80 or something around that. And that's obviously not very good because they're losing money and they cannot sustain losing money for a long period of time. So they need to do something better. Now, when we look at some of the companies that we are working with, and they are utilizing our platform in order to understand which company are good to insure and which company are not very good to insure, we have one company that has a loss ratio of 24.6. 24.6% loss ratio. They're making a lot of money on their book just because they're following some advanced way of making decision based on information that they did not have before. And the only way that they are able to do so is because they have a platform that use innovation in order to collect data, in order to analyze them, in order to give recommendation. And all that is being done in about 2 or 3 minutes from the time that you enter the information, that the name of the company and the website of the company that you want to profile, to the time that you get the full report with everything, with the results, with the analysis, and with the recommendation. It takes 2 minutes. And there's no way that any underwriter can do the same thing in 2 minutes. It's just not possible. But when you have it and you have a lot of information that you could not get in any other way, that makes your job, A, a lot easier, B, a lot more efficient, and the results are coming. Obviously, those companies are getting much better results than other companies. And that is only one example of why an insurance company needs to adapt technology in order to improve the way that they are doing things. That's the only way that they can be profitable and more efficient in upcoming years. Otherwise, it's going to be a challenge.
I see your point, and I fully agree with it because it's somehow confirms also our observations that a lot of smaller companies are actually much more flexible and agile to adopt changing landscape compared to bigger companies, especially those that have headquarters outside the Balkans, because the headquarter from time to time is just not very flexible, and it does not allow the local management to take actions to adapt. So thank you for your observations. And Kalim, probably you can add something, because we are actually going close to the end of our meeting, which is scheduled for 12:30 Bulgarian time. So we have 10 more minutes.
Yeah, first of all, I wish to thank you and congratulate for this effort to try to establish the ecosystem of insurance innovations. The level of Balkans is difficult, is clear, because this market it's in maturization, in development. It's very difficult to compare all time with Western countries where the situation is totally different. There are other money there, and they have other resources to try and to develop. From this reason, we are very happy to see that Balkan area, also in Romania, there are a lot of startups that are developing products for themselves and to sell abroad, because this is the most important. Until now, from very long time, this type of countries from East Europe was more software developer in loan, working for others, but without to have their own product initiatives. Now a lot of products are developing also in Romania, also in all Balkans area, and your study show very well this. And indeed, this entrepreneurship approach is the best way to develop innovation, because bureaucratical enterprises will have so many struggles that maybe they are wishing, but it's difficult to apply. With the startups, the problem is that in one moment they should be streamed in a regulator framework, and from this reason it will be very interesting to see what sandbox will be developed at the level of Balkans in future, because I don't know, there are too many in this moment. Sincerely, I don't know if there are any. There are a lot of sandbox in Western countries also. We are having a lot of hubs for innovation, that is very good, similar with Insurtech Hub that you are developed in Bulgaria, covering also initiatives at East Europe and Balkans area also. But this streaming and regulation will be very important, because finally the clients are the most important. And all these developments, we should see it from the perspective of the clients. It's clear there are a lot of shifting customer needs in every line of business in this moment, insurance, banking, and so on. You can see what happens in banking with open banking, where third parties are appearing and are taking in fact from the business, from the payment system, and so on. There are initiatives on open insurance. Also, is very possible in future to see development in this area. Separately, it's clear how the colleagues from the cyber risk insurance company, risk management, in fact, services for this insurer company, show that are increased awareness of unexpected risk. And these risks are part of our daily activity. Cyber risks are everywhere. We are having a lot of insurance market for after climate change events, earthquake, and so on. But on cyber itself, there are too less, at least in this part of the Europe. At our university, we try to develop some studies and to help with the development of this market. Also, in the chat of our speech, I posted a questionnaire. We are trying to collect information how this cyber risk should be evaluated to be taken in insurance. Insurer company are mainly risk management company. In fact, they are risk doctor for their clients. And from this reason, they have a lot of things to share from their experience. Brokers, it was mentioned about brokers. Brokers also can be the point of focus, because if you are speaking about point-to-point P2P insurance, this can come only from brokers, because they can develop, and based on the IDD, the new distribution directive at European level, The brokers can develop and be co-workers of the products, the develop products, the be manufacturer of products. And a smaller broker can develop faster innovative products than a classical insurer. And it's clear, Mr. Ramiparian mentioned, if the insurer undertakers are not moving themselves in this new world of digitalization, it's clear that they will disappear. Because comparing with the banks where finally you need some cash and the people need cash, in insurance everything can be digitalized, from issuing, consultancy, servicing, and so on. Or money can be sent by a bank, not by an insurer. So from this perspective, everything can be in a way of other automatized and informatized. This business enabler aspect is very important, and this will create a differentiation between these companies, small, medium, bigger. There are presented on your slide. Because if you cannot come with an innovation in a real manner for a client and to be easy, to be understandable from the clients, will be very difficult to be successful. And from these reasons, the client view will be very important in the perspectives to create other client experience for the clients. Of course, this insurance market will be a big change. It will be moved from claim payments to preventions. And other type of innovation can help here to prevent. So in the health, in IoT area, prevention will be more and more important. We will have embedded insurance. Now big producers can embed insurance inside of some products and to be sold. And that products already are developed based on innovation because are not classical insurance products that can be sold. From this reason, it's clear a change in the paradigm will continue to be so. This market of Balkans area is in development. There are initiative companies, there are entities with knowledge already on local market. So we can look with high interest in future, and we are expecting to see nice development and the second year of your study to show these developments. Thank you.
Thank you, Călin. Thank you very much for your kind words. And I really hope that this map is only a beginning and further on during the years. Because, you know, even when you try to map things, you figure out how difficult it is to work across 11 countries, 11 different markets, 11 different perspectives. There are even countries that are composed of smaller countries, not that they are very big, but this is their construction. So it's really really challenging to do anything here on the Balkans. But on the other side, it's very pleasant to when you manage to do it one way or another. So guys, I would like to thank you for being part of this discussion of ours, and I hope we will continue to keep in touch, especially in the area of Insurtech. Also, I would like again to express my gratitude to the sponsor of this event, CyberRight, and also we have another one, which is Aster Impactful Investing. Both companies will be given on our website with their details if you want to contact them and if you want to check their offering and to get in touch. So in general, this was everything from our side. Sorry, there are a couple of questions in Slido. Actually, it's more like comments. I am reading the comments. Today we live in globalization. Wouldn't it be better to offer a solution that includes all the problems faced by all players in the insurance market today? If I may try to answer these questions, of course, but this will be a very, very heavy solution. So probably acting piece by piece would be a much more plausible way. Also, we have comments that today reducing the cost of insurance process is a priority for all legal entities operating in the insurance market. Again, especially where the labor force costs are high, this is one of the main priorities of the insurance. Again, another comment. In Macedonia, we have insurance companies. We generally have mother company. We have a big number of brokers, representation companies, and especially banks. I believe this is the situation all over the Balkans. There are a lot of huge players working here. But again, there is this segment of independence, which is very interesting, I believe. Another comment, banks today occupy a large percentage in the sale of insurance products, life and non-life. That's why I think that global solution, which would include and offer solutions for many of the problems that the insurance market players face today, would be accepted much better and faster by the same players, without forgetting legislation. So it depends on the way and the angle that one is trying to approach those challenges. I believe the banks are already heavy investing in distribution channels, because basically they do distribution of insurances. Bank insurance is nothing more than distribution way. So let's leave the bank to themselves. We concentrate on the insurance industry here. And with those remarks, I think we can close our event. Thank you again for being part of it. And we see in very near future. Just a remark, this recording will be available on our website together with the animated version of the Balkan Insurance Digitalization Map for free access, together with access point for our questionnaire. If somebody is not very lucky with the way we have mapped him, he can put his data and we will remap him the way he wants to be remapped. So thank you again for being part of this, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Esqueci de говорю.